Welcome back to the Working Man's Retriever. I'm Dan Hosford, and today's lesson we're going to get into a little bit of training regarding a young golden retriever female that is just now being introduced to the leash and the chain collar. This girl is about 5.5 months old, and you can see that she's a little bit of a renegade, which is why I wanted to have her on this video, so that you could see how we would bring this dog back under control as well. Now again, this is about a 5 or 5.5 month old golden retriever female. Although she's had one introductory lesson to the heeling concept and the leash and chain collar, today we're going to do the second one so that you get to see how all of this comes back together. And then from here we'll advance into the next level of training with one of the older dogs. So I'm going to start by heeling left and right here. I'm going to head out. Yeah, I'm going to head out to my left here with this little girl, and just as we had done with the puppy, I'm not going to demand 100% compliance to everything that I do. I'm going to begin to channel her into the area beside me, and I'm going to use the same concept of the lead snaps and the verbal command given at the same time. Now if you remember, when we had the puppy when we had the puppy out here, I had a flat collar on him. Well, this girl is just, because she's had the introduction and she's a little bit older, more mature, I think it's a good time right now to introduce the chain collar. Now, one of the big transitions we're going to make in this particular training for today is that, as I said earlier, is that we're going to come from the flat collar that we'd used on the younger puppy, and we're going to go to the chain collar. Now the chain collar is just simply that. It's a piece of chain, but it has two large rings on each end of it. Now, we just simply load this ring through it that way, and now we have the collar itself. Now, with the puppy, the dog that heels on the left-hand side, it's going to go over the head in this way, so that the part you have the leash hooked to pulls from across the top of her neck. In that fashion, when you have your leash hooked up to it, as we have here, every time you snap it and release, the collar loosens on its own like it's supposed to. If it were turned around the other way and we went to snap, you would snap it up and it wouldn't release, as you'll see there. Okay, so one more time. If you have it set up on her so that she heels on the left-hand side, you always want the leash so that it pulls from across the top of the dog's neck. Now, if she were heeling on the right, this obviously would be turned around the other way. All right, so like this again, your leash is hooked up to it. When you snap up on the lead, it releases on its own, okay? Which is exactly what we want. So I'm going to place this around her neck. Now, one of the secrets about using the chain collar isn't so much about the aspect of you snapping hard to get her attention. A lot of the training comes from the noise that is created as well as the links pass through the ring. So both of those facets, again, this lead snap, the intensity of the lead snap that you use, and the noise that comes from the collar are very beneficial in helping the training sequence. Another important point now is that we want to be sure, I want you to be sure, that the rings of your chain collar always stay at the bottom of her neck like we have here. If at any time they've worked their way up to the side of the neck, then what has happened is that you've allowed your leash to get tight, okay? And remember that whenever it's tight, the dog is the one that gets to do all of the training and you just kind of tag along. So, with the rings being down at the bottom of the neck, as we have here, your left hand is going to be your control hand. That's a hand that you're going to apply the lead snaps with to have her understand the placement you want her to be beside you. On the other side now, your right hand, in this particular case, again, because she heels on my left, sit. Your right hand is just an offhand. All it does is keep your leash out of the way, but the second most important thing, sit, that it does is when you're giving your physical praise, you're going to reach across with your right hand and scratch your chest below her neck and tell her what a fantastic dog she is. In so doing, it still maintains your left hand on your leash so that if she were to get up and move, you have the opportunity then to apply another lead snap and get her to set down or stay closer to you. I'm not going to change the way that we do the training here, in that we're still going to use leash snaps or leash tugs, whatever you wish to call them, again with the idea that they're not going to be so intense that we frighten the dog. Remember, all we're trying to do again now is channel her into the position beside me and learn to stay more focused on where I am at. Okay? So with that, let's get started here and see what we can do to get her paying a little closer attention. Now, all of this distraction that we get right now is very, very important. And you'll see that we've changed our training area in that I'm out in a bit more of a denser grass or area where there's tendencies of being a lot more scent for the dog to lose their focus and concentration on me. Many, many times when you're first starting your obedience, it's a good thing to be able to do it in your driveway or on the sidewalk where there aren't as many scent distractions. So let's find out how this one works with this young lady. Here. Now again, you're going to see that I wait until just before the leash gets tight, and then I give another snap, give a light snap, and give her the verbal command here. All right, now when she's most distracted, we're going to get started. Here, here, good. Heel, 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 heel. That's my lady. Heel, heel. Here we go. Here, here, heel, heel, heel. That's heel. Very good. Heel. Now you see how she's still very distracted, sniffing at the grass, biting at the grass. Here, heel, heel. That's my lady. Heel. Very good. Heel. Good. Heel. Anytime her nose goes down, heel, 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 heel. I begin to apply a snap and move and advance, heel, on down the line. Now, pretty quick here. Heel, 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 here, heel, 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 sit. All right, so what we've seen so far is that my lead snaps haven't done much more for her other than just to get her to be somewhere close to the proximity that I'm at. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to begin to increase the intensity of that snap until I begin to see some kind of a response, a little more effort on her part to pay attention to what I'm doing, okay? Now remember that the intensity of the snap must not come across to her as though we're making a correction. It needs to be as gentle as possible, but as firm as necessary to get her to pay attention to where I am. So, let's try again. You ready? Heel, 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 heel. So I've increased the intensity, heel. When she gets in front of me, heel, 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 heel. Every time her head goes down, I snap up to get the head back up where I want it. Heel, 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 heel. And again, I've increased heel, the intensity of my snap. Heel, heel, heel. That's my girl. Very good. Heel, heel. And you'll see that by doing that, increasing the intensity, I'm getting a little more focus. Heel. Very nice. Look at that. Heel, heel. And all of my turns so far have been to the right because she heels on my left. Heel, heel. Very good. Look at that. Very good. Heel. You see how she's glancing at my position now? This is the kind of stuff that we're looking for. Sit. Very good. Very good. There we go. So, with the increase in the snap intensity and the timing that I give it, I'm getting a considerably greater amount of her focus and concentration on what's going on. There are still times that she has distraction in regards to the scent or to the movement in the grass. And that's very normal. What we want is to get her to understand a closer proximity to where I walk, which is the same thing I want you to do. All right, so I'm going to try this one more time. You'll see too that I'm always turning to my right here. And again, that's because the dog is heeling on my left. Sit. Now her stopping to scratch because of this chain collar is very normal as well. Don't be too concerned about that. Other than if she lies down, I want you to take a hold of the collar and pick her up off the ground and tell her sit again. Okay? So I want to come back and talk one more time here about always making the right hand turns because she heels on my left. The purpose for that is that she always has to speed up a little bit to catch up with me. Now in this little session we're going to do here now, sit. I'm going to begin turning to my left, and so I'm going to use my left leg to help steer her, sit, to help guide her, steer her, keep her beside me as I turn to my left and come back down the line. All right? So what I'm going to do is start right now with a left hand turn. Sit, that's my girl. All right, here we go. Heel, heel, heel. I didn't have an opportunity to bump her because she moved away from my leg quite well. Heel, 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 heel. Very good. Heel. Now the difference between a left turn, here, heel, heel, is that she has to slow down to stay beside me. Heel. So I begin with my left leg, heel. That's my girl. Heel, heel, heel. Now remember, heel. Remember that this heel, 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 heel. Very good. That's my girl. Heel. Remember that there's a great deal of distraction here. Heel. You need to learn to watch her very closely and try to get your snap in. There, nice turn. Try to get your snap in every time she loses her focus and concentration on you. Heel, heel, heel. Turn to the right and come back. Heel. Very good. She was beginning to lag a little bit, so I used forward snaps to bring her up. Heel, heel. Very good. And again, every time her nose heel goes to the ground, we snap up to keep her head up. Heel, heel. All right. Sit. Very good. Now I'm a little bit impressed this morning because we haven't had to use any of the muscle pinching or the pinching we do on her butt to get her to sit down. She's been very good about her sit. Now this is her second lesson. Again, I think I'd mentioned that before. This is her second lesson on leash, learning where it is that I want her to be. So I'm quite impressed with what we have here. It would not be uncommon at all for you to have to spend 2 or 3 of your lessons getting all of this heeling under control. Now, if you have a situation where she is extremely distracted in the grass, where your dog is extremely distracted, then by all means, go back to your sidewalk training. Sit, sit. Go back to your sidewalk training where there isn't as much scent that distracts the dog. And then as she gets better with that one, work your way back out into this kind of cover again. Okay? Very good. Okay. One more time. Sit, sit. Very good. Yes. Remember, they need a great deal of praise for this effort. Heel, 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 heel. Very good. Left turn, heel. Look at that. Very nice. Heel, heel, heel. Now the timeliness of your snaps, heel, and the intensity of the heel of the snap that you use is what helps her pay attention to your leg. Heel and stay heel. Now sometimes you're going to miss. Sit. Sometimes you're going to miss the timing, and that's quite all right. It's very normal. Just stick with it, and pretty quick you'll get it right, and she'll understand what it is that you want. Heel. Very good. No snap. Very good. Heel. 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 There. All right. Sit. Now you see that our lesson hasn't taken 20 minutes by any stretch of the imagination, and many times with these young dogs, a 20-minute lesson can be too long. When you begin to see the kind of progress that we've had here, very good, in that we started with a bit of a renegade, and now all of a sudden we're getting a little more focus and concentration. When you feel that she's picking up and learning from some of the stuff that you've taught, then that's the time to quit. That's the time to put her up, give her lots and lots of physical praise and verbal praise. Good girl. And put her up for the lesson. Bring her out later in the day and do the sequence all over again. Sometimes the lighting of the day, the way the wind changes or the temperature changes can affect the way that she performs out here. And she needs to have all kinds of experience with you, learning that this position beside you as you heel must always be maintained. I sure hope that gives you lots of information when it comes to the introduction of the leash and the chain collar with your young dog. For more detailed information on this particular lesson and other training lessons, please visit the danhosfordtraining.com website. Looking forward to seeing you in the next training lesson.